How to stop blisters. Inline skating, downhill skiing, climbing, mountaineering boots, football boots, running shoes. Stopping your blisters comes down to preventing blisters from happening in the first place. Here are the top 3 ways to stop blisters and prevent blisters. Number 1, socks. You want a thin, synthetic, sweat-wicking sock, 100% polyester. Turn the sock inside out at the store, and you want to check and make sure the area that will be contacting the place where you're getting blisters is nice and smooth. These are Quicksilver socks from frickin' Winners. They're like $2 or $3 a pair. I've tried spending $40, $50 on a Swift Wick, sweat wicking sports socks that exacerbated my blister problem, gave me worse blisters. These cheap, thin, super smooth, super comfy socks don't last forever, but at $3 a pair, who cares? That said, this pair of body glove synthetic polyester socks, these have probably seen 4,000 kilometers of inline skating in their lifetime, and there's not even holes burned through them yet. Now the elastics are totally pooched, they're super thin, they are starting to pill a bit, but we're talking thousands of kilometers for a $3 pair of socks. Proper synthetic socks stop blisters and prevent blisters. That's your number 1 line of defense. This is an example of what you don't want. This is a synthetic polyester sock. You see this shit here? That causes blisters. Here's another one made by Adidas, 100% polyester sports sock. This shit is right on your ankle. That is going to give you blisters. Yet another synthetic, supposedly sports sock. Look at how coarse and rough that material is, right in the ankle area, right where everyone gets blisters the most. Socks like this are going to give you blisters. Find synthetic socks that are super smooth. The reason you want synthetic socks, super thin, is you want to wick the sweat away as fast as possible. When your skin gets wet, it gets weaker and it causes more friction, and that's what causes blisters. The second way to stop and prevent blisters from happening in the first place, properly sized boots and shoes. You need something that is going to keep your ankle locked down and in place. No sure boot is perfect. You're always going to have a little bit of rubbing. Your ankle is always going to lift a little tiny bit. That said, if it's moving up and down centimeters, that's causing more friction. That is going to give you blisters. No 2 ways about it. Not only do you want to get properly sized skates and boots, you want to do them up properly. Not too tight, not too loose, but you gotta find that sweet spot. You gotta play around. It's different for everybody. I have to keep my toes loose and I have to lock my ankles down, but I have to keep the upper a little bit looser. It's crazy, but over the thousands of skates, you just learn what works. If your ankle's moving all over the place, the best socks in the world aren't gonna help you. The third way to stop blisters and prevent blisters, check to see if the material around your ankle is pilling. You can see down there, the material is pilling around the ankle on this boot. That's giving me blisters. Why is the material pilling? Well, these skates have over 4,000 kilometers on them. This is like the 3rd or 4th set of wheels on them. Boots aren't indestructible. Eventually, that little tiny bit of friction over hours and hours and hours, years and years of skating, they're gonna wear out. So I am getting blisters in these now. You can get rid of pilling by just pulling the little pills off with your fingers. You can get rid of pilling by shaving it down. What causes pilling? Shitty socks in really hot conditions, frictions. What do you do when you have a pair of skates that are giving you blisters? Are the worst culprit for giving you blisters a ski mountaineering boot. They don't breathe at all. Sweat just builds up inside no matter how good of socks you wear. What do? There's a solution. First, I'll show you what not to do. Do not use fabric coarse band-aids like this. They cause more heat, more friction. Do not use ankle tape like this. This is fabric. These fabric band-aids and tapes feel good for about 20 minutes until everything heats up and gets sweaty, and then these will give you worse blisters. What you want is a cheap plastic band-aid. It says right on the box, plastic. Now, if you're gonna use cheap plastic band-aids, you gotta take a scissors and you gotta cut off the gauze shit. You just want the plastic adhesive band-aid part. Better yet though, if you're serious about preventing blisters and you got 10 bucks, this is my go-to. This waterproof tape from Johnson & Johnson said stays on when wet, extra strong and durable protection, Johnson & Johnson First Aid. This will stop blisters. This will prevent blisters. When you have a boot that is just, even with the best socks in the world and the best fit, you're still getting blisters. You'll see it's made out of smooth vinyl or plastic. It's super sticky. It stays on when wet. So here's how you apply this shit. 30 to 40 minutes prior to starting your activity. Cut a strip this big, place it in the area where you're getting your blisters. For me, it's right here. You want to smooth it down with your thumb. You want to pull your sock on and make sure it hasn't rolled. If there's any wrinkles or any shit, if it's not totally smooth on your ankle, it can cause worse blisters. Real easy to prevent. Pull your sock on, smooth it down again, make sure it's totally smooth. You will feel your sock gliding freely against this tape 30 to 40 minutes prior, because if you just slap it on and start going, the glue doesn't have time to adhere properly to your skin. 30 to 40 minutes prior is the sweet spot. That said, when using that tape, do not, at the end of your activity, just rip it off. Your skin, from all the friction, from being a little bit wet and moist, is going to be weaker, and you will rip an exact piece of skin off like that looks like that tape. Get in a hot shower, get lots of hot soapy water around that tape, work it along the edges so that the water starts to loosen the glue, and then slowly peel it off a little bit at a time. Otherwise, you're going to take a huge strip of skin off. Using that tape, I'm able to use those ski touring boots, 8-hour days, skiing up and down the hill all day, no worries, no blisters. Without that tape, I'm fucked. I get the worst blisters you've ever seen. That's how to stop blisters. That's how to prevent blisters. I hope one of those ways is the answer for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any other tips. If you have any other blister stopping, blister preventing tips. Using those tricks, I've been able to inline skate every single day, run every single day, ski every single day when I want to. Blister pain free. Blisters are a bitch. Don't suffer through them. They're totally preventable, and I hope that helps. Cheers.